over here in my messages and notifications from Twitter, I have someone here who started up a conversation and says, "Hey, you up?" I said, "Yeah, I can only sleep so many hours at a time because A, you're trying to sleep time away like you're in some sort of prison, and B, you can't sleep that much because you have constant nightmares, so you're always trying to balance sleep and awake." Now, they reply, "I've been seeing your tweets over the last 24 hours. No interaction on them. Why do you believe that is?" So I say, yeah. After 3 suspended accounts, 4 years of being ignored, everyone retelling the same news every 5 minutes about a group of people who are actively in hiding. I guess their agenda does not fit with the truth that I tell. Not to mention the fake patriots who watch out for rich people. So, they thumbs up that comment and say, "Okay, not what I asked. Can you answer my question? Because you are shooting yourself in the foot over and over and over. If your case is still open, they will use the last 24 hours as proof you're unfit." No, my case has been closed for a pretty long while. That's pretty much why my boiling point has come and gone. All the water's evaporated out of the pot, and right now the kettle's about to crack. Same for those who want to rant and rail about their case here. I beg folks not to go into detail if their case is still open. Well, hoorah, this is America. You don't even have to have an open case. You don't have to have a closed case. You don't even need to have a case. America will come for you. They will destroy you. Nobody cares because nobody wants to care. They will ignore you. Okay, so I give a little complaint here. Ever since COVID lockdowns, making jobs scarce and illegal aliens bragging about their $1,200, and I've been surviving on tap water for 2 months. My give a damn busted. The point America became my enemy. And yeah, I've pretty much been living off of tap water since a few days before Thanksgiving. That's when someone on Twitter here, a man named Bishop, helped me out with a Cash App, and I'm going to pay that man back later. He will get his payback, and it is very much appreciated. Now, she comes back and she says, "Oh, thank God, I was concerned and wanted to ensure you were okay. I can breathe now." I said, "I would be gone soon if starvation works as planned." Because that's what America's doing to the poor. They're starving them. They put you in a lockdown with COVID restrictions, tell you to get a job if you're on unemployment, and then when you go to file for a job, they say COVID restrictions are keeping them from hiring. So they want you in a position, society, and when I say society, I mean your next door neighbor, the teachers at school, the mayor, the police, everyone is in on it. Like they say, silence is violence. If you ignore it, then it won't go away. Well, that's pretty much what's happening here, because ever since Election Day, all of society has become up their own asses with whatever they consider patriotism is, or what their definition of getting by is like. So she comes back, she says, "Understood. America isn't your enemy. Its failed, broken, corrupt system did. Americans aren't any different than any other populace." Yeah, they are. They're more arrogant about the freedoms they claim to have. "May I suggest Medicaid, medical EBT, and assistance? For your case, a Rule 60 can be filed to reverse a common law judgment. I don't know the DOMs. I don't know the DOMs and it's your specific case. You read as an abused parent by the state. Yes, I am an abused parent by the state because of no criminal activity. I have had no crimes filed against me, meaning I've never been arrested for anything outside of not having a job. And I've only ever spent time in jail for not having a job, and that was about it. But that's not even what any of this was ever about to begin with. What this was about was people trying to warn people but being ignored on a daily basis and being overshadowed and being talked over and talked down to by people who claim to be patriots, but they're rubbing it in your face that they have, while the have-nots who actually have stepped up to try to make a contribution, to try to bring everything to light. Some of us did make contributions to Trump's campaign because Trump said he's going to do a lot for us, but almost everything he said after the contributions were given has been a lie. Now, I reply back, not eligible for Medicaid. No, I'm not. I'm not eligible for Medicaid, Medicare. I'm not eligible for EBT. I am a white man. They do not give EBT to white men unless they are disabled, mentally or physically. Now, I'm not eligible for TANF or LIHEAP, and I'm not eligible for so many other things. I went to a church to go to a food pantry. The church says we need your ID, Social Security card, proof of address, and a printout from the Department of Human Services saying you collect SNAP benefits. I said, I don't collect SNAP benefits. They said, go back to the Department of Human Services and apply. I went back and I applied and I was not eligible. I went back to the church. I said, well, now that I'm not eligible, can you help me out? They said, well, go back to the Department of Human Services and get a printout saying that you're not eligible. I said, fuck it. Yeah. Literally every entity in this country is geared to work against certain people. It may be anecdotal in my case. I do live under the poverty line, but there are millions of us that live under the poverty line. But of those of us who live under the poverty line, how many of us are white men who are not eligible for A, B, C, or D? But yeah, that's okay. When I broke my arm, I was turned away from the hospital. So she comes back and she says, really, you've not eaten since Thanksgiving, water only, you're superhuman. Ketosis would have already done the deed a week or so ago. I said, overstating gets you nowhere, and I mean nowhere. Look at the zero interaction with you over almost 20. Yes, there's zero interaction because nobody cares. It's a lot easier to leech Wi-Fi off your next door neighbor and try to tell people what the problem is, but people don't want to know what the problem is because people have money, they have something to eat, they're with their families, they're doing their things. They have the illusion of freedom and privilege, and there's the illusion that the Constitution exists, at least for them, from their point of view and their perspective. So just because the illusion presents them with whatever freedom they think they have, I obviously have to be a liar in everything I am saying. So I told her about how I was jaundiced. It probably wasn't jaundice, probably not jaundice, probably just too much iron in the water, kind of like they have in Oregon there. And she goes on to say, then get relief from child support. Yeah. You go to a native tribe who tells you you have no rights to a child, but you have to pay child support, and tell them to relieve you of that child support. Like I said, I'm a white man. There are no men's rights. Now, I've been foregoing my meals so my wife can eat, and that's pretty much the gist of what's been going on for the past 8-9 months. She says it'll take less than a week to turn it all around. I am a nurse. I'm advising you to get to the ER immediately. They must take you in by law. She says they must take me in by law. They can sign up for all the county services, including child support, including redoing child support. She says the hospital will help me, I'm guessing, do all this stuff, but they will not. So I tell her the ER sent me home over a shattered arm. The ER sent me home over a shattered arm because I didn't have insurance. They made me walk 7 miles in the rain, not even an ibuprofen. Right here, this arm was shattered. Ambulance took me to the hospital. They didn't give me no shots. They didn't give me no pills. They set me in the waiting room for about 2 hours. The call was made at about midnight. At about 2 in the morning, they come in. They asked me if I have a ride home. I said, no, I don't have a ride home. The ambulance is the one that brought me here. I don't have a car. They said, where do you live? I live 7 miles south of here. They said, okay, we're going to have to discharge you, but we're not allowed to give you any medicine because we only give medicine to those people who have a ride home. So they put a cloth sling around my arm and they send me home at 3 in the morning in the rain to walk 7 miles while my arm was shattered. And how did I find out my arm was shattered? Because 2 weeks later, I went to a free clinic to tell them that my arm was in pain. And they gave me some free ibuprofen, which helped because he sent me, the first week he sent me to go get my arms x-rayed because when you go through the free clinic, x-rays are free. And that second week when the x-rays came back, apparently there was a multiple break. It was a shatter and it needed emergency surgery. But because it was so late and the healing has already started, and I was already turned away by law, they should have done something. No. Even the free clinic doctor said it was too late to do anything at that point in time. He said he could write me some painkillers, but it would be illegal for the free clinic to do so, and I said I couldn't afford them anyway, so we left it at that. Where was this? It sounds bullshitty to me. 7 miles with a broken arm. BS. I love how people just automatically think I'm lying about every little thing I'm doing. So I told her about the free clinic situation, what went on. She says, what state, what county? So I said, Shawnee, Oklahoma, St. Anthony's Hospital. Turn away the uninsured and anyone who doesn't have any money to go through a treatment. They keep you, if it is a serious situation, like you're dying from septic shock and you collapse at work, they keep you the minimum of 3 days because they can't keep you any more than that because you're not insured. And even though you're at death's door, they're going to send you home anyway, even though you can't walk. Now, she said, when I said St. Anthony's Hospital in Shawnee, she goes, that's the clinic, the emergency room of a real hospital, period. Clinic. Can't set a broken arm. Jesus wept. Oh man, it's getting tiring that the people who always know more than me have to be holier than thou when presenting their side of an argument that they only have a one-sided view of. So I said, I went to the churches here. I told her everything, and I told her how I was denied food. I told her how the hospital ER is different from the clinic. And then she comes back at me. No, something very wrong with this story, very wrong. Whether it's just a screw up after screw up or you're not doing as you know you should to take care of yourself. Huge divide in what I know of medicine, law, and your story. So I called St. Anthony's Monday and asked their protocol, and they will tell me, yes, we sent him home with the unbroken, not right, lawsuit big time. We shall see on Monday. Then she claims she made the call. that there's a little bit more to the argument, but she's just going to go on and on, tell me that I'm a liar and I need to keep my mouth shut and I need to stop coattailing her tweets because we happen to be in a similar group where we're fighting a corrupt government. But here's the deal. From her perspective, the government is only so corrupt. But from my perspective, it is 100% in its entirety corrupt. But everything I'm saying is a lie. Because even if it is just anecdotal, I'm just one man under the poverty line, multiply that by the millions who are, they are only just one man. So ignore that one man and what he's trying to tell you, because when you get to where I am, the government's going to shit on you too. They're going to take away every single right you have. They're going to keep you out of the hospitals. They're going to take every dime from you from taxes that you think you're earning. But no, you have to pay the king's ransom. Everything from every vantage point, every person in this country is actively putting you in a position where you are backed into a wall. And there's only one thing you can do to act out, and that's attack. Now, this is only more proof that no matter how many times you try to tell a story to somebody, this is why people just won't believe you. They refuse to believe you because they think there's something called law. Law doesn't exist. Come under the poverty line, we'll see how many laws will actually affect you. When I collapsed at Chili's, there was no Family Medical Leave Act. There was no wrongful termination. The labor board didn't step in to investigate the illegal alien that was on duty that should have called 911, not filing out a news report. Nothing happened because in America there is no law. The Constitution is dead. And I like how everyone's a patriot during a time of crisis. That flag behind me has been waving for a long time. 9/11 happens suddenly. Everybody's out buying flags. Then that dies down and, where are all the patriots then when shit's really hitting the fan? But no, nothing's hitting the fan. It has to be during a time of crisis. People come out of the woodwork and claim they're patriots. So, that's pretty much it for me. I just wanted to explain that, no matter what your story is or where you're from, no one's going to believe you because this is America. And the only way you're going to have people believe you is if you're rich. If you want people to focus on the foster children need to have $1 billion. Because people need to look at the richest person. They need to pick a side and choose. People only follow the trend of the day. They don't care about what's going on in this country. Because this isn't a country. Everyone in it is a sheep. That's it. Thank you.